And welcome to today's webinar, Going Beyond the Buzzwords, Cloud Analytics and Big Data with Real-Time Social Streaming Media. I'm Megan Souza, Marketing Manager here with Done Solutions Group. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few items. This session will be recorded, and we will be sending out a link to the recording to everyone who registered within 24 to 48 hours after the presentation. We also have recordings of all previous webinars on our website in the event that you missed any in the past at donesolutions.com. Also, if you have any questions during today's presentation, we encourage you to submit them, and we will address as many as we have time for at the end of the presentation. So let's take a look at today's agenda. I will begin by doing introductions to Done Solutions Group. From there, I'll turn it over to today's presenter, Renata Siemens-Juntak, our Analytics Manager here at Done Solutions. Renata will discuss the power of cloud-based analytics solutions, and from there, Renata will demonstrate Microsoft Azure's cloud-based analytics. So let's begin. Done Solutions has a long history delivering innovative business technology solutions. We are headquartered just outside of Chicago and have offices in Minneapolis, Raleigh, and Bangalore, India. Our offerings fall into three practice areas. Our application development solutions feature portals, e-commerce, and content-managed websites, mobile application development, and custom application development. Our analytics solutions feature analytics and BI platforms, as well as data warehouse and data integration. We are authorized SAP and library training providers and offer classroom, virtual, private, and custom options. We believe training is important because once we deliver a solution, we want to make sure that those who need it know how to use it and maintain it. Our application development practice develops solutions that are custom and help differentiate our customers from their competitors. We provide solutions on portals, e-commerce, and content-managed websites, custom transactional applications, as well as mobile applications for integration with back-end systems. We've been doing custom application development since our inception in 1988, and it's one of our core practice areas. Our analytics practice helps us deliver information to decision makers throughout the organization so that it runs better. We help with decision making by not only looking in the rearview mirror, but also looking forward into the future by leveraging predictive analytics and data mining techniques. We've built solutions for our customers which help them better manage their sales operations and inventory predictions. We even helping determine where to build the next hospital. We make it easy for them to get that information using tools that don't require you to be a programmer, so that analysts and end-of-line business managers can easily access the data that they need to better run the business. Done Solutions has been helping companies leverage their data for over 25 years. Our predictive analytics and business intelligence teams help companies make the most of their existing data to uncover future trends, risks, and opportunities that result in bigger returns and avoid big losses. Our clients, some of which are included here, are a combination of Fortune 500, mid-market companies, government agencies, and nonprofits across all verticals. About 80% of our business are commercial clients, 20% nonprofits and government. We maintain strong partnerships with top technology companies in order to offer our clients the most innovative solutions available today. Thank you, Renata, or thank you all for allowing me to introduce you to Done Solutions. I will now hand over the presentation to Renata. Welcome, Renata.
Hi, everyone. I want to say thank you again for coming to this Cloud Analytics and Big Data webinar. And let's start by setting up some baseline here and try to understand why there is so much hype about this. Yeah, we are producing data more than ever before. IBM said that in their 2013 study, the 90% of the data in the world today has been created in the last 2 years alone. So this is a 2013 study, 3 years ago, and we are confident to assume that it has since grown even higher. So now the data becoming our new natural resources. Yeah, why we say that? Because today every discussion about technology, business, society, it must begin with data. It's exponentially increasing in all the fee of the big data, the volume, velocity, variety, and we have about 2.5 billion gigabytes of data generated every day, and this is from the same report 3 years ago. Now, if you go to IBM.com, it will say we actually create 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. What is quintillion? It's a billion billion, 1 followed by 18 zeros, so 10 to the power of 18. So this data comes from everywhere. Yeah, sensor used to gather climate information, post to social media site, digital pictures and videos, purchase transaction record, and your cell phone signals. So we are talking about big data here. And also say that 80% of the world data is unstructured. Yeah, it's an example from audio, video, sensor, social media, all represent new area. We can mine it for insight. So before we talk about structured, we have been very familiar to the structured data. Usually it's we call it traditional database, or we use schema to do it. Now we are talking about raw, complex, unstructured, wild data coming in the various formats, and we need to do something about it. Yeah, because without it, it's useless. We just record a lot of things without learning anything from it. So because of the big data, our analytic landscape is changing now. We saw earlier the first 2 points. Yeah, data comes in huge and not structured, so we need new technology. Where we are going, yeah, to store the data is not only in relational database anymore. We are now invent a lot of new technology. Yeah, we have a relational database before, RDBMS or SQL database. The most popular one are Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, IBM DB2. Now we are talking beyond RDBMS. We are talking about the non-relational database, also called NoSQL database, usually for semi-structured data. And the most popular database for this type are Apache HBase, MongoDB, DocumentDB, and others. We also have another in-memory or new category called NewSQL. NewSQL is a class of combination of RDBMS and the NoSQL one, so it's a hybrid. So it tried to seek the RDBMS functionality and at the same time provide the same scalable performance of NoSQL. So for this example are SAP HANA, VaultDB, NuoDB, and others. We also have Hadoop. We can store the data inside of the file called Hadoop Distributed File System. And we are using Apache Hive's SQL-like languages called Hive SQL to do the query. So there are this point that the analysis cannot wait for the formal data. Yeah, we also we cannot wait because we want to analyze all of the interaction, the social interaction, the demographic, the grouping of people, what do they do in their free time. We want to analyze consumer data, what they buy and when. We are now talking about analyzing all type of data coming. Yeah, we cannot wait till the data in the uniformity or in a data warehouse before we can start analyzing it. So I also need to mention the organization data center. Yeah, it takes a lot of work to scale the organization data center. There are two common options to do it, scale up and scale out. It is tricky to choose which option is best suited to your organization. The vertical scaling one, or the scaling up, is generally referred to adding more processors and RAM, buying a more expensive and robust server, while the horizontal one, the second method, or we also call it scale out, generally refers to adding more servers with less processor and RAM. So this is usually cheaper overall and can theoretically scale infinitely. Although we know that there are usually limits imposed by software or other attributes of an environment infrastructure. So scaling and choose what type of scaling we need is never an easy job. So with so much data to analyze, how can my organization handle all this? Yeah, one possible answer is to use infrastructure as a services, IaaS. It is your infrastructure in the cloud. Yeah, it is a form of cloud computing that provides virtualized computing resources via the internet. There are alongside with two other categories like the software as a services and also platform as a service. So it's SaaS and PaaS. Yeah, a lot of these three are together. So the pros of doing this are quick and easy. Yeah, spin up resources as you need, pay what you use, and no worries about your physical hardware or your regular maintenance. Like everything, of course, there are some contra for IaaS, yeah, but these contra are likely to change as the technology become more mature. And the related business model also become more mature. Yeah, this webinar regards the pros more than the cons, and we will show how easy and fast and cheap it is to spin up an infrastructure in the cloud to start with analytic application. Yeah, like analyzing your data coming out from Twitter. So what are example for IaaS? We use Amazon and Microsoft. This is an option. So for this demo, we are using Azure. Yeah. For what we are trying to say here is the analytic solution has many parts and pieces. Yeah, you see at least there are 3 columns here. On the top left-hand side, this is all the sources, the traditional sources like the ERP system, CRM, POS. Yeah, we also the new one coming from social media, IoT, and the e-commerce data. Now we are talking about analyzing how people interaction in the social media, how computer interaction in the IoT, and how the information about your product. Yeah, what do they buy, when, from the e-commerce. Yeah, we want this to be stored somewhere else so we can start analyzing it. So we can do direct transfer or some ETL work or streaming to a more persistent data storage. Yeah, if you still remember the earlier, I mentioned about the database type. Yeah, some are the relational, some are NoSQL and the new SQL and Hadoop. So this is the data storage that available today. And we also need machine learning to make this data ready for analysis. Yeah. For this, we need some, it's very technical, and we need some special people to be able to do it for us. Yeah. And once the data is ready, the business can start doing their descriptive or predictive analytics to answer the below question. So this is taken from our previous webinar called Descriptive, Predictive, Prescriptive Analysis by Jose Hernandez. If you want to watch it, you can go to our website and then click the Knowledge Center and click on the webinar and see the rest of the webinar there. And I will also provide the link on the last slide. So now going back to here, if you think about how much work and time involved in just setting up all this, yeah. Imagine you bring this list to your IT team and then ask them to estimate, yeah, how much time they need to do this to help you start your analysis work immediately. So they will need a lot of time. They're starting from planning, yeah, what sizing of hardware to have, type of hardware, number of licenses, procurement of the hardware and the software, yeah, also preparing the location to put all the hardware, then start installing, configuring, setting security, and if there is any upgrade needed, and testing. Yeah, they also need to think about scalability, yeah, that the solution will be something that you need for the next 3 years. There are so many things that they need to do, and it will probably take them 3 months to get the analytics application ready. So you definitely will not be able to do your analytics works by next week. So now think about reducing all the work and time and the cost also of setting up the analytics solution by using what we mentioned earlier here, IaaS. Since this IaaS is more specific to analytics, we will use analytics. It's basically designed to allow us to do analytics work in the cloud. Yeah, it's possible because the current technology of IaaS that we talked earlier, yeah, mostly providing business values. Start your initiative immediately and finish your initiative fast. And now, let's see the scenario of the analytics application for the demo. I need. So this is my shopping list. I have real-time stream. I need real-time streaming application, Hadoop cluster, large data source, analytical tools, web application. Where do I get them? One of the possible solutions is go to azure.microsoft.com. What is Azure? Azure is Microsoft solution. It's a public cloud. It has the IaaS, the infrastructure as a service, P, platform as a service, SaaS, software as a service, all the terms that we mentioned earlier. It has the virtual machine. You can spin them up without owning the hardware. You can create a website. You can, or cloud services, create some storage, messaging. And so it's basically a building block for application. So the landscape, as you see here, has a lot of rooms. Yeah. It is just a side story. Recently, I watched the Lego documentary on Amazon Video. I play with Legos when I was young, many years ago. And I'm amazed on how, over the years, Lego has been used to build interesting, incredible structure and be inspiration for so many people. So when I see this, I see an Azure component as a Lego brick, which is a building block for anyone to build application. So I also think that I can use that shopping list and then start getting what I need here. So I need real-time streaming application. I can get it from the analysis and analytics, and then some storage, the SQL database, the HDInsight, and then the blob storage, and the analytic tools, a Power BI, and I also need a web application from here, and the developer service, Visual Studio, to start doing my work here. And now, you will see here that the data will come from Twitter. Yeah, we will accomplish the scenario that I mentioned earlier. And once we able to capture the Twitter application, we're gonna keep it in the event hubs. Yeah, event hub is an event collection and processing capability. It can input millions of events per second and stream them into multiple applications or devices. Hubs has partition that retain data for a configured retention time. So this event will expire on a time basis. That's why I need a more persistent storage. So the next, I'm gonna need stream analytics to transfer the data from event hubs to a more persistent storage. So it's more like an ETL if you are familiar with data warehousing, extraction, transformation, loading tools. So you need to specify three things, right? The source, the target, and the process in between from the sources to transfer the data from the sources to the targets. So in this case, this stream analytics act like an ETL tools. The input is the event hubs, and the output are BI tools, which is Microsoft Power BI, blob storage, which is binary large object in JSON format, and we are more know this as a files, and the SQL Server in the cloud as the database. Yeah, that's the first flow. The second flow here, once I get the social Twitter data, I'm gonna put it in HDInsight, HBase. is an open source NoSQL database that is built on top of Hadoop and modeled after Google Big Table. So HBase is for large amount of unstructured and semi-structured data in a schema-less database, organized by column. So with HDInsight, we can easily create a Hadoop cluster in the cloud in minutes. I use one cluster of HBase, and it takes half an hour or to an hour to build one. Is to plot the real-time by using a .NET web application. So we need to use Microsoft Visual Studio to create the web application and then to publish the web application to Azure. So let's see some demo here. Just to recap, the demo will gonna use Azure Visual Studio and then moving the data to the more persistent location and then use the web application to display the data. Okay, I'm gonna move here to this is Azure, Windows Azure application. So the first step that we need to do here, we need to be able to create your account. I create my account, and then after that I create things that I need. First I create the event hubs. So if I'm not gonna create, I already created. I'll just show you. For the second flow, I need, the first flow, I need the event hubs, and it's already active, and it's part of the Service Bus application. And I also, what else do I need? I need Stream Analytics. This is a Stream Analytics job, so it's like a ETL job, unit input, output, and you also need the blob, to be able to store the information as one of the output in the streaming analytics. Create the SQL Server, SQL database, this one. And I'm also need to have Power BI. You can go to, you just click. I do it from my client machine here. I'm just going to Power BI over here. Type https app.powerbi.com. Have some account over there, create a new account, so you will be able to project the data later in a report or in a dashboard. And I also need HBase, so I'm going back to Azure, Microsoft Azure here, and I create HDInsight. So again, go to HDInsight cluster. I already created, but I'll show you how to create one later. So I'm ready with the Azure component. And before I can move the data, the next thing I need to prepare my Twitter, right? I need to be able to, my Azure should be able to talk to my Twitter application. So I go to apps.twitter.com, this guy, and then create a new application. And then what's the purpose here? Is just to create the key, the secret key, the token, the secret token, basically to allow Azure to access my Twitter account. And this guy, we will use all this information for both flow. And the next step is, after I'm ready with my Azure and then I'm ready with my Twitter, I need the streaming data. Let's see some plumbing here. I need Microsoft Visual Studio to have some application written here, and I will need to modify the application configuration, basically to put the keyword. So the underlying idea here is I stream the data from application twitter.com, and then I make some filter based on the keyword. The keyword is, as of now, Azure, Skype, Xbox, Microsoft, Seattle, and my company name, then Solution Group. And then I also use a calculation for sentiment called Sentiment 140 to add sentiment score to the tweet event. So this is written by student for their student project for Stanford University, and it will written for if the the Twitter give us a positive sentiment, 2 for neutral, and 0 for negative. So I need to run this application, and you will see that it's running now, and it'll only get the keyword, yeah, and it will send to event hubs, yeah. So my event hubs is in Azure. So if I'm going back to Azure, event hubs, you basically just need to set it up to configure it. And the way it will transfer to the rest of your persistent database is using the stream analytics job. So you go here, and then you see there is this is one of the jobs that I create. You need to specify the input. Yeah, in this case, the input is the Twitter stream, the event hubs, and the outputs, storage, and I transfer the data to and the query is very much like SQL thing into, which is the output from the input. And since this is streaming, so timestamp is very important. And I also create the one into the add more aggregation. The sentiment score, the minimum of sentiment score, and then the is for the blob. It's the same aggregation, just is different output. So this is running, meaning like application capture to the 3 output. Yeah. So if you want to see the result, yeah, the blob you can see using Azure Explorer. Yeah, it will be in the JSON file. So you can double click on one of the file here, and then you will see the format of JSON. If you are familiar with it, you can come back to this later. And you can also see the SQL Server database like any other relational database. You can do query on it. You can use the standard management tool from SQL Server, or you're using the Visual Studio to query. Yeah, this is the select something, just the top 10 from the table name. So I'm going back to this one. If I run this SQL query, it's executing. Oh, as of now, I need to log in first. Okay, let me come back to this. And the third option is the Power BI. So if I'm going back to Power BI, yeah, you just sign a new account. remember earlier I already create two, yeah, the dataset PBI and dataset PBIO for the, let's just go back to get this sorted out. Yeah, I'm going back to the server and I'm going back to the Azure, and you see there are, yeah, the SG output, the SG out PBI, and the SG PBI all. All is just select everything. The SG out PBI, I put some of the aggregation function. This is our Power BI. So I will see two Power BI data storage in Power BI. Here, the dataset PBI and dataset PBIO. So it's very similar. I just want to show you that you can use multiple output in the same stream analytics job. And then here is the data that you can analyze. Yeah, it's all the aggregation of the sentiment and the time it creates and the topic, which is the keyword. Yeah, while the PBIO, it has different measure. It has the partition ID and the sentiment score. It doesn't have all the aggregation function. You have the topic, creation date, then even enqueue and event process. Yeah. And this is not about Power BI webinar. We can have another webinar for Power BI. I just want to show you some features, the connection between what we can do in Azure and then display it in Power BI. So assuming you know how to create or a report, yeah. Here I already create a report. It's a simple one, just a chart, a bar chart and a line chart, just to see all the topics by search by topic. Yeah. Line here. If I don't run, yeah, so I just 31st and then a little bit here, I can go back to my server, and I'm just running. I'm gonna publish a Twitter, yeah, because I put the keyword, one of the filter, as my company name, so I'm gonna use it here. So the streaming application should capture it and then display it in the chart. Yeah. So I tweet it, just post it, and I'm going back to my Power BI. And you notice done solution group here. I need to put the exact same word and the count here, and then there's another simple report just to see the score. Yeah, it's 14 here, and under here there are 6. Yeah, it should be changed after I refresh this report. Yeah, now it's 7, and now it's 14. Oh, I need to refresh it first. Now it's 16 after refresh. So you see, this is an online application. So the possibility is limitless. Yeah, you can use it as part of your marketing activity to find out what other people are interested nowadays. Yeah, or other things you can use with this. And it's not only Twitter. You have Facebook and other media application, LinkedIn. Yeah. So this is the first flow. Yeah, you grab the data in Power BI. Yeah, you can create dashboard by attaching these reports in the dashboard. You can use in Power BI. So now, if you want, I'm going back to the second scenario. The second flow, we are going to create the same, we are using the same Twitter data and then publish it in the web application. Yeah. Going back to Visual Studio. For this, we need the sentiment streaming application to capture the sentiment score and also to capture the location of where the data is coming from. Yeah, the location of the Twitter. And I also need to build the web application. So this is the first project, and this is the second object. In this second project, basically just build up a web application and then you publish it to Azure. Yeah. Once it is done, then you'll be able to create a Twitter application, something like this. Yeah. And then put in the keyword, click go, and see the changes in the map. And you can click the what type of sentiment you want. Yeah, the positive, neutral, or negative. Yeah. As of now, it's running, getting all the keyword from. This is an example from Microsoft. Yeah, the tweet sentiments analysis website. And then I can just change the keyword. Yeah, currently it's XBoss, and this is taken like half an hour ago. Yeah, so the color is like this for Xbox. So let's see if there's anything changes. Yeah, across half an hour. So not much changes, but if I change the sentiment, it's positive, it's a change. Negative is this area. Neutral, the early one was bigger. Yeah. So how we are going to do this is a lot of thing we need to set up at some of this is the same as the first flow. You basically need to get the application, the key from the Twitter, and then use the key to stream the data to acknowledge your connection from the HBase. Yeah, and then you use the data, you calculate the location from the Twitter, and then you project it into the web application. So now I'm going back to my presentation slide. So as a summary, yeah, what you can see from the demo that the cloud analytics for big data really help us to create to analytic application. Yeah, you can start it early and you can finish it earlier too. And you also can start choosing the building block to pick and choose. Yeah, and what we display earlier, what I use is just for this demo. In real life, you can choose what you need for your own project. Yeah, as of now, the Power BI is separated from Azure, but in the future, they should be able to combine them together. Yeah? And by using cloud analytics for your application, it will reduce the cost of ownership and maintenance. Yeah, because you don't need to have all those hardware in your office, and you don't really need to maintain. Yeah. The good news is you can try this for free. Yeah, whatever I'm doing earlier, you can do it, and then you don't need to buy any server licenses. And the evaluation period as of now is 30 days, and they will give you $200 as a credit. You can use it to start using HDInsight, create a SQL Server in the cloud, those kind of things. And they are very user-friendly. you can see the amount, yeah, that left behind for your account. You can see how many days left for your trial period, and you can make decision later after that, and then change your type from the free trial to a usage base. Yeah. So you can just go to azuremicrosoft.com and then try it for free. So what next? Yeah, you heard about our done solution capability earlier, and in the beginning of this webinar, and there's so much information. Perhaps you are overwhelmed or you are excited about it, and we are here to help you. Yeah, if you have any question, like this is just an example, or you have any other question, you have a project that are related with our core capabilities like the analytics, including business intelligence and application development, or you have other questions and find yourself in need of any topic that we discussed today, you can contact me. Here is my email. And I'm also gonna let you ask question now. Any question we have in the chat box, I will try to answer now. If you have any question after the webinar, you can send me an email and I will get back to you ASAP. Lori, anything on the chat box?
Thank you, Renata, for your presentation. Yes, we do have a couple questions. I see here one of them is, what skills are needed to do big data and cloud analytics in Azure?
Okay. For this, if you are talking about starting, you have some or you have done, and it's very easy to just install and use Microsoft Visual Studio. And if you have background in business intelligence, like you are using reporting or dashboard tools before, and it's very easy to use Microsoft Power BI. Yeah, all the one that I show you today is just a small part of what Power BI can do. And after that, you just need to get familiar with the Azure feature and interface. And that's all that you can use to start using big data and cloud analytics in Azure. And I think later I will send you the link to the code that you can use to start building up your application as a sample. Yeah, by using it, you can start faster, and then you can modify and you can add more to achieve what you need.
Okay, very good. Thank you. We also have, what other Azure webinars will we be having?
We will have on-premise and cloud database replication with Azure. We also have a sentiment analysis with Azure, and we have predicting outcome and prescribing decision with Azure. There are 3 coming, and not sure about other. Maybe Lori can send more information later, but this is the one that I'm aware of. Okay,
very good. We've got one more question up here. If anyone else has any questions, please feel free to type those in. I'm interested in machine learning. Do you have any webinars on this topic?
I'm not aware of any webinar for machine learning yet, but that's a very interesting topic, and we will inform you once we plan for it.
Okay, thank you very much. If anyone else has any questions, please go ahead and type those in.
Okay, so I'm going back to acknowledge acknowledge and reference here. And if you guys want this presentation, I think Lori will send to you after the webinar. And I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much and for coming. And I hope you have inspired to implement cloud analytics and big data in your organization. And here I also it is fun for me to do this presentation and the demo, and I'll see you in the next Azure webinar. Stay tuned, and thanks again.
On behalf of Done Solutions, thank you, Renata, and thank you all for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of your day.